Tariffs, Trump once declared, leaning into the microphone, are the most beautiful word in the English language. This, dear viewers, is objectively wrong. Puppy is a beautiful word. Rainbow is a beautiful word. Tariff, on the other hand, sounds like the name of a Bond villain's pet ferret. And much like a ferret let loose in your home, tariffs are liable to make a mess of things, especially your finances. Over the past few years, President Trump has waged a global trade war, slapping tariffs on everything from Canadian steel to Chinese electronics. He claims these tariffs are protecting American jobs and punishing unfair trade practices. But are they? Tonight, we're diving deep into the world of Trump's tariffs, examining their impact on everyday Americans and the overall economy. Buckle up, folks, because this is going to be a bumpy ride. So, what exactly is a tariff? It's a term you might have heard thrown around a lot, especially in discussions about international trade and economic policies. But what does it really mean, and why does it matter so much? In simple terms, it's a tax on imported goods. When a country imposes a tariff, it essentially makes foreign products more expensive. This can be done for various reasons, such as protecting domestic industries from foreign competition or generating revenue for the government. Let's say you're a Canadian lumberjack who wants to sell your beautiful hand-chopped wood to American home builders. You've worked hard to ensure your product is of the highest quality, and you're ready to tap into the lucrative U.S. market. We'll assume, for the sake of this example, that you're not too busy wrestling bears or apologizing to moose. Your wood is in demand, and American builders are eager to buy it because it's both affordable and high quality. Suddenly, bam! Trump slaps a 25% tariff on Canadian lumber. This means that for every piece of wood you sell to the US, an additional 25% of its value is added as a tax. This isn't just a small change, it's a significant increase that can drastically affect your business. Now that wood you're selling, it just got a whole lot more expensive for American buyers. The increased cost might make them think twice about purchasing your lumber, and they might start looking for cheaper alternatives, possibly even within the US. The Trump administration argues that these tariffs will force countries to play fair on trade, reduce the trade deficit, and bring back manufacturing jobs to the U.S. They believe that by making foreign goods more expensive, American companies will have a better chance to compete. They claim that by making foreign goods more expensive, American consumers will buy American-made products instead, boosting domestic industries. This, in turn, is supposed to lead to more jobs and a stronger economy. Sounds great in theory, right? The idea is that tariffs will create a level playing field for American businesses and encourage consumers to support their own economy. Well, as with most things involving this administration, the reality is a bit more complicated. While tariffs can protect certain industries, they can also lead to higher prices for consumers and strained relationships with trading partners. The impact of tariffs is multifaceted, affecting not just the economy but also international relations and everyday life for people on both sides of the border. Economists, those killjoys of the financial world, have been quick to point out the flaws in Trump's tariff strategy. They argue that while the intention behind tariffs might be to protect American jobs and industries, the reality is far more complex and often counterproductive. Tariffs, in essence, act as a hidden tax on American consumers, making everyday goods more expensive. This isn't just an abstract economic theory, it's something that affects the daily lives of millions of Americans. When you go to your local market or shopping mall, the prices you see on the shelves are influenced by these tariffs. The cost of imported goods rises, and businesses often pass these costs on to consumers. This means that everything from groceries to electronics can become more expensive, stretching household budgets thinner and thinner. Remember that Canadian lumberjack? Well, those American home builders who are now paying more for his lumber? They're not just absorbing those costs out of goodwill, they're going to pass those costs along to you, the consumer, in the form of higher prices for houses, furniture, and anything else made with wood. This ripple effect can be seen across various sectors of the economy. For instance, if you're planning to buy a new home or renovate your existing one, you'll likely notice the increased costs. The price of construction materials has gone up, and so has the cost of labor. This means that your dream home might be a bit more expensive than you initially planned. And it doesn't stop there. The furniture you buy to fill that home, the wooden floors you install, and even the paper products you use daily are all affected. And it's not just lumber. The impact of tariffs extends far beyond the timber industry. The tariffs imposed by the Trump administration have affected a wide range of goods, from steel and aluminum to solar panels and washing machines. These are materials and products that are integral to various industries and everyday life. The increased costs of steel and aluminum, for example, have a cascading effect on industries that rely on these materials. Car manufacturers, construction companies, and even tech firms that use these metals in their products have all felt the pinch. This has led to higher prices for American businesses and consumers alike. The cost of building infrastructure, manufacturing goods, and even producing renewable energy solutions has gone up. This has led to higher prices for American businesses and consumers alike. When businesses face higher costs, they often have to make tough decisions. They might cut back on hiring, reduce employee benefits, or even raise prices on their products and services. This creates a challenging environment for both businesses and consumers, making it harder for the economy to grow and thrive. Furthermore, economists argue that tariffs can stifle economic growth by discouraging international trade and investment. When countries impose tariffs on each other, it creates a less favorable environment for trade. Businesses may hesitate to invest in new markets or expand their operations internationally, fearing the unpredictability of trade policies. This can lead to a slowdown in economic activity and innovation. They also warn that tariffs can lead to retaliation from other countries, sparking tit-for-tat trade wars that damage the global economy. When one country imposes tariffs, others often respond in kind, leading to a cycle of retaliation that can escalate quickly. This not only affects the countries directly involved, but also has ripple effects throughout the global economy, disrupting supply chains and increasing uncertainty for businesses and consumers worldwide. Let's get specific, shall we? Because nothing says economic impact like looking at the potential price hikes on your next grocery run. Thanks to Trump's new tariffs, you can expect to pay more for everything from Mexican avocados and Canadian bacon to Chinese electronics and German cars. That's right, folks. Your guacamole habit just got a whole lot more expensive. According to experts, the price of Mexican avocados could rise by as much as 2.9%. Canadian bacon, up 5%. And that new iPhone you've been eyeing, get ready to shell out an extra 10.6%. Even your morning cup of coffee could be affected as tariffs on Chinese aluminum drive up the cost of coffee pods. So basically, get ready to say goodbye to your disposable income, because Trump's tariffs are coming for your wallet. Section 5. The ripple effect, job losses, GDP shrinkage, and economic uncertainty. But wait, there's more. The economic landscape is shifting, and not in a good way. The effects of these changes are being felt across various sectors, from manufacturing to retail, and even in the service industry. It's a complex web of consequences that we need to untangle to understand the full impact. The impact of Trump's tariffs goes far beyond just higher prices at the checkout counter. While consumers are feeling the pinch, the broader economic repercussions are even more alarming. These tariffs are creating a ripple effect that is disrupting supply chains, increasing production costs, and ultimately leading to higher prices for a wide range of goods and services. This isn't just about paying a little more for your groceries, it's about a fundamental shift in how businesses operate and compete in the global market. Economists warn that these tariffs could lead to significant job losses, particularly in industries that rely heavily on imported goods or export their products to countries targeted by tariffs. For instance, the manufacturing sector, which often relies on imported raw materials, is facing increased costs that could lead to layoffs. Similarly, the agricultural sector, which exports a significant portion of its produce, is seeing reduced demand from international markets. This could result in farmers having to cut back on production or even shut down operations entirely. We're talking potentially hundreds of thousands of jobs lost, folks. The ripple effect of these job losses can be devastating for local communities. When factories close, it's not just the workers who suffer. Local businesses that depend on the patronage of these workers also take a hit. Restaurants, shops, and service providers in these areas may see a decline in customers, leading to further job losses and economic decline. It's a vicious cycle that can be hard to break. And it's not just job losses we have to worry about. The broader economic implications are equally concerning. When businesses face higher costs and reduced demand, they often cut back on investment and expansion plans. This can lead to a slowdown in economic growth, affecting everything from stock market performance to government revenues. The uncertainty created by these tariffs is making it difficult for businesses to plan for the future, leading to a more cautious approach to spending and hiring. The tariffs are also projected to slow down economic growth, with some experts predicting a decrease in GDP of up to 0.4%. While this might not sound like much, it's important to put it in perspective. A decrease in GDP means less economic activity, which translates to fewer jobs, lower incomes, and reduced government revenues. This can have a cascading effect on public services, infrastructure projects, and social programs, making it harder for communities to thrive. That might not sound like much, but it translates to billions of dollars in lost economic output. So, yeah, not great. The loss in economic output can affect everything from local businesses to large corporations, leading to a decrease in overall economic vitality. This can result in lower consumer confidence, reduced spending, and a slower rate of economic recovery. In the long run, this could mean fewer opportunities for growth and innovation, making it harder for the economy to bounce back. All of this economic uncertainty has made businesses nervous, leading to decreased investment and hiring. Companies are holding off on major projects, delaying new hires, and cutting back on research and development. This cautious approach can stifle innovation and slow down the pace of technological advancement, making it harder for businesses to stay competitive in the global market. In the end, it's not just about the immediate economic impact, it's about the long-term consequences for our economy and our future. Section 6. Businesses on the brink, real-world reactions to Trump's tariffs. Don't just take our word for it, though. Let's hear from some real-life businesses feeling the heat from Trump's trade wars. Take, for instance, the Philadelphia oyster supplier, who's now struggling to stay afloat because of tariffs on Chinese oyster bags. Or the Midwest farmer, who's seen demand for his soybeans plummet after China slapped retaliatory tariffs on American agricultural products. Businesses across the country are being forced to raise prices, lay off workers, or even close their doors entirely as a result of Trump's tariffs. And while the Trump administration insists that these are just short-term pains for long-term gains, many business owners aren't so sure they'll be around long enough to see those gains materialize. Section 7. The American Squeeze. How Trump's tariffs could impact you. So, what does all of this mean for you, the average American just trying to get by in today's economy? Well, in short, it means you're likely going to be paying more for a lot of everyday things. Your grocery bills will be higher, your next car will cost more. And that home renovation project, yeah, good luck affording that now. But the impact goes beyond just your wallet. The economic uncertainty created by these tariffs could lead to job losses, slower economic growth, and a decline in your standard of living. And while the Trump administration continues to tout the supposed benefits of their trade policies, it's clear that the costs are being borne by ordinary Americans. Section 8. Conclusion. A nation divided by tariffs. Trump's tariffs have divided the nation deeply, pitting consumers and businesses against each other in a battle over who will bear the brunt of these policies. While the administration insists that these tariffs are necessary to protect American jobs and interests, the evidence suggests otherwise. The reality is that these tariffs are hurting American consumers, businesses, and the overall economy significantly. So the next time you hear President Trump waxing poetic about the beauty of tariffs, remember this. There's nothing beautiful about a trade war, especially one that leaves American families and businesses footing the bill. And that's the truth, folks, whether you like it or not. This is the harsh reality we face.